You were never from here. The secret markings of an interdimensional soul. Most of us wake up every day pretending we're just human. We brush our teeth, go to work, scroll through our phones. We play along with the illusion, pretend this world is all there is. But deep down, something in us knows that's not the full truth. Something in us aches when we look at the stars. Something in us remembers when we hear ancient chants or find ourselves moved to tears by things we can't explain. That something is your interdimensional self calling you back, because you didn't come here empty. You came here through layers of time, space, and vibration, and you brought power with you. Power you still don't fully remember. I didn't know I held interdimensional power until life forced me to look deeper. It didn't happen through a meditation retreat or a guru's blessing. It happened through chaos, through breakdowns, through moments of complete loss, where logic failed but something else didn't. Something inside me knew. Something responded to pain with ancient intelligence. I began to see patterns others didn't. I began to feel timelines overlapping. I'd dream of places I'd never seen, then find them in real life. I realized I wasn't just healing wounds from this life. I was unraveling codes from others. That's when it hit me. Some of us were never meant to live normal lives. We are here as bridges between dimensions, between worlds, between the seen and the unseen. If you've ever felt like you were living two realities at once, what you're told to believe and what you feel is true, you're not crazy. You're just waking up. And in this video, we're not going to talk about vague starseed concepts or trendy spiritual labels. We're going to go deep into 7 real, tangible, often hidden signs that you are carrying interdimensional power and that it's time to remember why. Because the moment you remember, everything changes. You stop playing small. You stop waiting for someone to give you permission. You start vibrating at a level that restructures the world around you. The first sign is the collapse of logic. You've noticed it, haven't you? That the rules that seem to apply to others don't quite work for you. Time bends around you. You think of someone and they call. You resist something and it crumbles. You follow a hunch and doors open without any rational reason. This isn't coincidence. It's reality responding to your frequency. Your energy field is already operating on a quantum level. And when you try to force yourself into 3D logic, you feel sick, stuck, numb. That's because your soul is not linear. You are wired to feel your way through dimensions, not think your way through them. The collapse of logic is not dysfunction, it's an invitation. You're being asked to stop living like a machine and start living like a cosmic instrument. The second sign is emotional intelligence that doesn't make sense. You walk into a room and feel things no one is saying. You look at someone and know what they're hiding. You cry for no reason. You laugh in the middle of despair. That's because your emotional field is interdimensional radar. It's picking up signals from fields most people don't even know exist. This isn't just empathy. This is data. You're decoding frequencies that span lifetimes, civilizations, and even species. You can't explain why you love what you love, or why certain places, people, or sounds feel like home. But you know. You always know. You're not broken. You're tuned in. And the more you trust that knowing, the more powerful you become. The third sign is dreams and memories that don't belong to this life. You've had them. Dreams that feel more real than waking life. Memories of places you've never been, languages you've never learned, technologies that don't exist here, but feel familiar. This happens because your soul is multidimensional. You've lived other lives, not just on Earth, but in other systems, other realms, even other forms. And sometimes, those memories leak through, especially when you're in altered states, meditation, trauma, love, or deep solitude. You are remembering yourself across dimensions. And those memories aren't just there to fascinate you. They're keys. They're showing you what tools you've already mastered, what gifts you've brought, and what missions are still incomplete. So let me ask you something you probably haven't asked yourself in a long time. What if your weirdness is actually your training? What if the things you've been hiding, your visions, your sensitivities, your intensity, are not flaws, but evidence? What if you weren't sent here to conform, but to recalibrate the collective frequency of this planet? Because if you are holding interdimensional power, you already know this world is in a spiritual emergency. You feel it in your bones. And your presence here is not random. It's surgical. You are the medicine. But you can't activate what you deny. You must own your weirdness, not as decoration, but as command. The fourth sign is disruptive energy patterns. Your life doesn't stay stable for long. Jobs, relationships, identities, they keep shifting. Not because you're flaky, but because your field is upgrading constantly. You're not meant to stay in one frequency. You're coded to evolve fast. And that means shedding old skins over and over again. This can be painful. You might feel like you're always starting over, like you never quite arrive, but that's because your soul didn't come here to settle. It came to build pathways between realms, to anchor new codes into the grid. So when things collapse around you, don't panic. Celebrate. That's a sign your field is doing its job, clearing densities so higher frequencies can land. The fifth sign is your presence causes shifts in others. Ever noticed how people either open up or shut down around you fast? How animals trust you instantly? How children stare at you like they know you? That's not about your personality. That's your field. You're holding frequencies that activate dormant codes in others. Sometimes it brings healing. Sometimes it brings discomfort. But either way, it brings truth. You are like a tuning fork. When people come near you, their false selves start to crack. Their pain rises. Their soul stirs. That's not something you do with effort. It's something you are. And the more you accept this, the more intentional you can become. You don't have to fix everyone. Just hold your frequency. That's more than enough. The sixth sign is spontaneous downloads of wisdom. You speak things you've never studied. You write or create things that feel way beyond your education. You receive guidance in moments of stillness that feels ancient, universal. That's because your soul is networked into the interdimensional grid. You are a node, a living receiver of cosmic intelligence. But here's the catch. The downloads only come when you're not busy trying to be someone, when you're empty. That's why silence is so powerful for you. That's why you often feel overwhelmed by noise, by chatter, by shallow spaces. Your mind isn't made for clutter. It's made for channeling. And when you make space for that, the information you receive can change lives. The seventh and final sign for now is you've always felt like a visitor, not in a sad way, not in a victim way, but in a deep, quiet knowing, like you're here on assignment, like this isn't your first incarnation and it won't be your last. You've looked around at how people live and thought, why do they care about this? You've wondered why no one else seems to remember. That's because you remember. You came here with a task, and even if you don't fully know what it is yet, Your soul is guiding you toward it. Every synchronicity, every heartbreak, every spark of wonder, it's all leading you back to your mission. And now that you know these signs, I'm going to ask you something you may not be ready for. But I believe in you. What happens when you stop pretending to be just human? What changes when you stop minimizing your gifts? What opens when you stop asking for permission to be what you already are? Because this world needs you, not the masked version, not the diluted version, the interdimensional version, the one who remembers, the one who activates, the one who walks between worlds and brings light with them. In the next part, we'll go deeper. We'll explore how to activate your interdimensional power, how to train it, how to live in this world without being consumed by it, and how to recognize others like you. You'll learn how to hold your frequency in chaotic environments and become a conscious force of transformation. Living as a portal, how to activate and master your interdimensional power in a 3D world. So now that you're starting to recognize the signs, you're not just human, you're a portal. What do you do with that? This is where most people get stuck. They either suppress their power because they're afraid of standing out, or they romanticize it, chasing mystical highs without grounding anything real. But interdimensional power isn't about escaping this world. It's about rewiring it from the inside out. You're not here to float. You're here to anchor. You're here to bring through frequencies that this world has forgotten and embody them in a way that others can feel, touch, and trust. That means the first step of activation is not learning more. It's remembering deeper. You already have the codes. They're just buried under layers of conditioning. The moment you stop trying to be spiritual and start living honestly, those codes begin to unlock themselves. And honesty is where the training begins. Not the kind of honesty that just means telling the truth. I'm talking about energetic honesty, being fully aligned between what you feel, what you know, and how you show up. When you hold interdimensional power, any misalignment hurts. It creates anxiety, fatigue, even physical illness. That's because your energy system wasn't designed to tolerate lies, not lies to others, and especially not lies to yourself. So your first initiation is this. Can you live a life so true, so raw, that your soul no longer has to whisper, "This isn't who we are"? Can you walk into a room and not shrink your field to make others comfortable? Can you speak from your knowing even when it shakes the ground beneath you? That's where mastery begins, not in mystical states, but in the courage to be real. Now here's the paradox. As your interdimensional power activates, your life may become more chaotic, not less. Because every part of your reality that was built on false foundations will start to crumble. That job you took to feel safe, gone. That relationship you stayed in out of fear, exposed. That identity you built to be accepted, shattered. But don't mistake this collapse for failure. It's initiation. Before your power can expand, your container has to be cleaned. You're not being punished, you're being refined. And if you can stay present inside the storm, if you can breathe through the fire without abandoning yourself, you'll find something most people never touch: true integration. The moment when your body, mind, and soul are no longer at war. The moment when you stop reaching for power and simply become it. There's something else you need to know. As you stabilize in your power, you become a beacon. Other interdimensional beings will start to find you, often without words. You'll meet someone and feel an ancient familiarity. You'll look into their eyes and remember a mission you haven't spoken aloud. These are your soul allies, your team, You didn't come here alone, even if it's felt that way. But you won't find them by chasing. You'll find them by vibrating at your truth. The more authentic you become, the more visible you are to those who operate beyond the veil. And when you come together, something magical happens. You stop feeling like you're carrying the world alone. You realize you're part of a network, a living, breathing web of light spread across the planet, activating one node at a time. So let me ask you something now, not as a performer, not as a seeker, but as a soul. What would your life look like if you stopped making yourself digestible to a dying system? What if you didn't shrink your power to be understood? What if you didn't compromise your truth to be accepted by those who forgot their own? What if you lived every day as if your presence was sacred technology? Because it is. This is the path of the interdimensional soul, not one of ease, but one of radiance. You don't need to become anyone else. You just need to remember who you were before the world told you to forget. The mission hidden in your DNA. Why interdimensional souls are the keys to Earth's awakening. Now that you've begun to understand who you are, not just as a soul, but as a bridge between realms, you have to ask the deeper question. Why are you here now? Out of all the timelines, all the dimensions, all the possible incarnations, you chose this one. In a time of so much collapse, confusion, distortion, and noise, you chose to land here. That choice wasn't random. It was encoded. Inside your DNA, inside your energy field, inside your very breath, there's a mission. Not a job, not a role. A mission. Something cosmic, something unseen, something your human mind may not fully understand yet, but your soul has always known. You were set here as a keeper of codes, a carrier of frequencies, a living transmitter of new Earth templates. And the more you awaken, the more that mission begins to activate you from the inside out. You see, the interdimensional soul is not just here to be spiritual. That's too small. You are here to rewire the human grid. You are literally built to disrupt systems of control, to dissolve false timelines, to collapse outdated frequencies that are keeping this planet in density. That's why you've never fit into the system. That's why you've always felt like an outsider. You're not broken. You're built different. And the reason you've suffered so much is because you were born into a world that was not yet ready for your frequency, but you came anyway. Because your presence alone shifts the field. You don't even have to try. Just by being fully you, you send ripples through the collective unconscious. You recode spaces. You awaken dormant memories in others. You remind people without words that there's something more. But here's the part most don't talk about. That mission is not always glamorous. It's not all downloads and synchronicity and cosmic love. Often, it's grief, it's rage, it's confrontation with the deepest shadows of humanity. Because you are not just here to anchor light, you're here to transmute darkness. You are one of the few souls capable of holding vast amounts of low-frequency energy and alchemizing it through your presence. That's why you've gone through so much pain. Not because you're weak, but because your soul said yes to a task most would never accept. You agreed to carry ancestral trauma, karmic residue, collective fear, not to suffer under it, but to burn it clean. So every time you've cried without knowing why, every time you felt like the pain wasn't even yours, it's because you were doing deep planetary work, and you didn't even know it. So how do you begin to live this mission? Not as an idea, but as a reality. You start by trusting your design, your body, your emotions, your dreams. They are all part of your interdimensional technology. You don't need to go outside yourself to find your purpose. It's embedded in you. The things that break your heart, that's a clue. The injustices that enrage you, that's another. The beauty that brings you to tears, that's the trailhead. Your mission is not something you think your way into. It's something you feel your way into. And when you stop resisting your sensitivity, your intensity, your multidimensional perception, when you embrace it, you begin to broadcast your soul's signal into the field. That's when things begin to align. That's when the right people, places, and synchronicities begin to show up, not because you're manifesting harder, but because you're finally in your native frequency. This is why grounding matters so much. You are a portal between worlds, yes, but without grounding, you become a leaky antenna. You pick up everything, but can't hold anything. Your nervous system gets overwhelmed. Your intuition becomes scrambled. Your energy scatters. So to live this mission, you must anchor your power into your body. That means honoring your vessel. That means stillness, nourishment, movement, breath. That means being in nature, not as an escape, but as a recalibration. Earth is not your enemy. She is your co-creator. You came from the stars, but you chose to land here. And you cannot complete your mission if you keep trying to leave. You must root into this planet like a lightning rod, pulling in the frequencies from other dimensions and grounding them into form. That's how the new Earth is born, not through theory, through embodiment. And here's the mystery. The more you live your truth, the more your DNA begins to unlock. You'll start to receive memories, skills, even languages that seem to come from nowhere. That's because your genetic code is not static, it's dormant technology, and your mission is the password. Every time you act in alignment with your highest self, you send a signal to your DNA. We're ready now. And the code opens. That's when the real magic begins. You start to remember abilities that were once called miracles: telepathy, timeline navigation, quantum healing, energetic shielding. These aren't fantasies. They're forgotten functions, and they're coming back online. But only for those who are living in authenticity. The universe will not give power to a mask. It only responds to truth. So I ask you again one final time in this sequence. Are you ready to stop outsourcing your mission and start living it? Are you ready to stop waiting for proof, for permission, for validation, and start activating the intelligence already inside you? Because the future is not waiting, it's already arriving. And you are not just a witness. You are a creator, a code holder, a transmitter of a new age. This isn't theory, this is now. And the world will never be the same once you remember who you are.